in that divergence, what happens, or at least what I think happens, is that Broadway becomes much more elitist.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Again, just the prices tell you it's elitist. I mean, $50, $60 a ticket. They had a series recently on a TV station I watched that said the average budget for a Broadway musical now is $7 million. Now, if you have that much, and we're just talking the average budget, not weekly expenses, which can run into the hundreds of thousands, they need a heck of a lot of people paying a heck of a lot of money, which most of us don't have. There's a difference between a $5 movie ticket and a $50 or $60 theater ticket. You can only, pay for one or two of those, and then you're broke. As I said, when I started out as a kid, you could see, for $50, you could see every show on Broadway and probably get a pretty good seat. The musicals, the comedies, the straight dramas, and whatnot. That situation doesn't exist anymore. So that's been the diversion, too. And yes, Broadway has become, to a degree, elitist. Where I work, with the shows we do, they don't like the new ones. And many times you can't do the new ones. The new ones are just too expensive. I saw the Phantom of the Opera last night. I was very impressed with the technology, but I come from a place where we have a theater that seats about 700 people. It's a nice old theater. It was built and opened in about 1900. And it was built for the theater of that age. I'm watching the Phantom of the Opera. Now I'm saying, okay, give me a couple of $1 million, the best talent in the world. I'll be able to do that too. But if you want to put that thing up on that stage, forget it. There's no way. But if you want to put on earlier musicals, if you want to put on Rodgers and Hammerstein or Lerner and Loewe, something like that, we can do it. They were made for that kind of a theater. See? Again, just doing something like the Phantom of the Opera, just look at the technology involved. They've got to get the big bucks out of you. With a show by Rodgers and Hammerstein, which can be done practically anywhere, they didn't need the big bucks because they didn't use the technology. It was a well-known fact that the way you staged a show was you did a big scene, and then you drew a curtain and had a short scene in front of the curtain while they changed the set behind the curtain. Then you opened it up and had another big scene, and you kept alternating that way. And that's the way they solved their pacing and technological problems. But here, get this 90,000-ton chandelier flying above the audience, and the entire stage whirling around and going up and down, and smoke everywhere. Special effects. Yeah. Glad I saw it in Toronto, because there's no way it's going to play where I live.
That's the issue about musical. We see it diverging and becoming a kind of elitist.
And intellectual, I'd say that too. In the old days, musicals appeal to your gut. I mean, there was never a more sentimental human being on this planet than Oscar Hammerstein. And if you see a Rodgers and Hammerstein show, the emotional effect that you get that's what they're after. I mean, Maria waving to the nuns as she and the little kids go over the Alps from the Nazis brings a tear to the eye every time. The king dying, Anna holding his hand as the music swells with something wonderful. I mean, sniff, sniff, sniff. And that's what got me when I watched Phantom. At the times when the Phantom was on, at times there might be a slight emotional reaction. But for me, I just watched it and just watched this technology at work. And I really couldn't get that involved with what was going on. And I might call it the Sondheim influence to a degree, too, because your big poobahs right now in the musical theater, for Americans, it's Sondheim. For the Brits, it's Lloyd Webber. Those are the two. And Sondheim, he might say, I'm as emotional as can be, but here is a very intellectual, a very cynical person who is writing musicals, which for decades were about as uplifting and happy. Again, take someone like Irving Berlin. Irving Berlin did not know depression. Irving Berlin said, God bless America. There's no business like show business. I'll see you in the Easter parade if we're not sitting around the fire enjoying a white Christmas. This was Irving Berlin. But then you get to Stephen Sondheim with the things he's doing, and you listen to the lyrics and you say, that's very intellectually challenging. I'm glad to see the perceptions which are coming out here. But when it comes to the emotion you're supposed to be getting, he's very sophisticated. He's giving you a lot of intellectual wordplay, games, etc. You can appreciate him on this level. But the last time I met anybody who said they came out of a Stephen Sondheim show with the tears welling in their eyes, and that doesn't happen. Just doesn't happen. In the old days, it did. You go to Man of La Mancha, you're going to cry. It's as simple as that. But with Sondheim, it doesn't work that way. You get that harder edge there. And a lot of Lloyd Webber's the same way, too.